I just saw Predator Badlands a few hours ago, and I did like this movie. I believe I gave this about a 4.5, I believe, on my letterbox. It legit, or actually no, I gave it a 4. This is probably a hot take because I saw most reviewers don't agree with me on this, but this is honestly my second favorite Predator film. I think this is even better than Killer of Killers. It's even better than Prey. I really enjoyed this film. So basically, this film, what happens is that and the predator species, they're called, I hope I pronounce this right, Yatcha. So two Yatcha brothers, Dek, who's our main protagonist, Dek and Quay, they're like on their home planet called Yatcha Prime, which is where like their clan lives, right? Each Yatcha, their predators have different clans, and they're like on their spaceship on their home planet there, Yatcha Prime, and then Najor, who's their father, he arrives and says, Dek, you're too weak to be a part of the clan. And he says that, and Dek refutes that by saying, no, I can prove myself. I'll prove myself by going out and killing Kalisk on a, what's the planet called? It's referred to as a death planet known as Genna? Yeah, known as Genna. So he has to go to Genna to kill the Kalisk. And his father says, no, it's too late to prove yourself. So then he subdues him with like this laser rope. I don't know how to describe it. It's like this laser rope thing where he like subdues him, and then he orders his brother, Quay, to kill Dek. He says, oh, you need to kill Dek. He's too weak to be part of the clan. And right before Quay is about to, it seems like Quay is about to kill him, right? It's like, oh no. And then right before he does that, he frees him from the like laser rope and throws him back into the spaceship, closes the door. Quay is banging on the door. No, I could have proved myself. And then the father, Najor, says, what does he say? There's a line in it that I really like here in my notes I'm checking. But yeah, his father basically says tolerating weakness is weakness. So then he says the brother character, Quay, must die for saving his weak brother, Dek. So then Najor and Quay fight, and Quay is killed by the father. And that's a really sad scene. Dek is banging on the window. No, don't kill him. He kills him. And right at the last minute before, Quay is stabbed through the chest with the Predator sword. Quay goes on his little, like, you know, if you've seen any Predator movies, you know that the Predators have like these little devices on their arms, right? So he enters the planet coordinates of the, the death planet, Ghana. He enters it's not Ghana, not the country Ghana, it's Genna, Genna, Genna. He enters the coordinates in, and then the ship takes off before Njor the father can enter the ship and kill Quay as well. So the ship, it crash lands on Genna, and Dek escapes in the little pod. It crash lands into like a forest, and he sees there's like these moving vines that like, it's like these weird, it's like almost nothing I've ever seen in like a sci-fi film with like these alien life forms. Nothing to do with the xenomorph aliens, by the way. There's no reference to xenomorphs or aliens or anything like that in this film, although it does take place in the same universe, because there is, as I'll get into later, there is the Wayland Utoni Corporation, which I really love. Checking my notes here. So, yeah, he fights off the moving tree vine alien creatures, and then he then goes on to this grass area where he encounters a Wayland Utoni synthetic, played by Ella Fanning, and her name is Thea, Thia, Thea, and she's like, she has her legs missing, and she's up on this hilltop there, and basically she has a universal translator, so she's able to speak to Dek in his own predator or Yacha language, so they're able to communicate with each other. He's about to get killed by a flying like dragon creature, and then she jumps in and saves him at the last minute, and then she says, oh, and then Dek informs Thea that he's looking for the Kalisk in order to redeem himself in eyes of his father, and that also he wishes to seek revenge on his father for killing his brother. So his main task right now on this planet is to find the Kalisk. Thea says, oh, I can help you find this Kalisk. You could use me as a tool because I'm a synthetic, but because the predator culture, the Yacha culture is very stoic, independent. He's like, based on strength and honor and respect. He's like, no, I don't need any help. I need to do it by myself. But she says, no, you could just use me as a tool. I'm not a living being. I'm just a Weyland Yutani synthetic. So he accepts her help, right? And basically, like the picture here depicts, he puts her on, or it really, it's not really a her or he, it's a synthetic, but he puts her on his back and they go off to try and find the Kalisk so he could bring home the Kalisk as a trophy to redeem himself to his father and also seek revenge against his father. Really, it's mostly to redeem himself for his tribe, right? So, again, a lot of cool stuff. The CG is great. I love there's the scene when it does the title, and it says Predator Badlands, and there's this really good like wide shot of the landscape, and it shows like mountains and hills and trees, and there's these crazy gross creatures like crawling on the mountain. Like it seems like everything on this planet is alive and it's dangerous, and it's really, really cool. Really good world building, right? Which is already a very vast world, the whole Alien and Predator cinematic universe, I guess you could say. Already there's so much there. I really hope we get more smaller scale stories in the Alien and Predator franchise, because there's just so much, there's an infinite amount of stuff to do in this cinematic universe. So what happens next? So yeah, they encounter a field of what's referred to as razor glass. It's this glass that's very sharp that if you walk through it, you'll get killed. You'll get cut into pieces and killed. But there's a giant creature that is like above the grass that he wants to slay and say, oh, because Thea informs him like, oh, this creature is what the Kalisk hunts and eats. So he's like, oh, I'll hunt it and eat it so I can be, as strong like the Kalisk. So their goal is to now kill this big creature in the grass. So they jump through the trees to try and get it. Oh no, but then there's another giant creature in the trees that sucks them up and it's about to eat them alive right before this other little creature who will be known as Bud. That's the nickname they give this character. And apparently this little creature thing, it becomes like a major character. I didn't really like this aspect of the film. I thought it was kind of dumb, and this is where like it feels like almost like Disney, like a Disney Star Wars thing. It's like just like sell toys. It feels like a weird family. It's like a comedic relief thing, and it's like, oh, a little cute creature for the kids or whatever. It's like, no, I want my Predator movies to be brutal and violent and gory and crazy and gross. Right? It's supposed to be really like a action and really like honestly like horror, very dark. Right? That's how I like. That's how I like in the 1987 with Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's what I like about the I believe it was the 1991, the one set in LA, right? Of the bodies being strung up and skinned alive, crazy, gory, gross violence and stuff like that. That's where Predator, the Predator and Alien, both Predator and Alien franchises excel, right? So I didn't like to see this creature Bud. It was like used as like a cutesy comic relief thing. It just didn't fit. It doesn't fit with the theme of Predator at all. But yeah, they encounter this creature named what they call Bud. They go back to their base camp, and basically Bud saves them. So they take Bud back to they set up camp, and then this is when Ella Fanning's character Thea, she describes how she's looking for her synthetic sister, right? She's a Weyland-Yutani synthetic, and she's looking for her sister, who's also a Weyland-Yutani synthetic. So that's her goal, right? Deck's goal is to find and kill the Kalisk and bring it home as a trophy to redeem himself to his tribe, and then to later kill his father, right? Her goal is to find her synthetic sister, Tessa, right? So that's Ella basically describes the whole thing with Tessa to Deck, and they basically just chill out there with Bud at the base camp. They wake up the next morning. Deck decides to leave Bud and just take Thea. Thea then says, "Oh, why did you leave Bud? He saved our lives." And he's like, "No, that's weakness," right? Again, because the whole Predator culture, they're all about strength and like being independent and stuff, right? So he says, "Oh, I don't care about this creature, whatever, right? We don't need him." Or her, I guess it's the Bud thing is technically a female alien creature thing. And not to be confused with the. Well, I guess I'll just mention this now. There is no references to xenomorphs or anything from the Alien franchise, really, other than obviously the big reference is the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. Other than that, there's no xenomorphs. There's no stuff like that, right? So if you're mainly a fan of Alien and you don't really care for the Predator stuff, then you won't find any xenomorphs or anything like that, any alien stuff like that in this film. But if you like Predator, you'll like this film. So regardless whether you like Alien more or Predator more, I like both, right? I like the whole, I guess you could call it a cinematic universe franchise, whatever. So I recommend you see this film. Simply, if you just like sci-fi action, just watch this film. It's great. I think it's good. Where are we next? Okay, so then Deck and Tia, they make it to the like a destroyed Weyland-Yutani camp to basically reassemble Tia, because they find her legs at the camp, and then she lays down on a table to basically reassemble herself and attach herself back to her legs, right? Because she was torn from her legs, and it's really cool visually. Again, you can see it right here on the poster where she's like torn her synthetic torso, and it's all mechanic, and she has to basically repair herself and attach her legs back to her body. She then alerts again, because she is a synthetic for the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, and therefore is programmed to serve the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. She alerts the Weyland-Yutani Corporation that she's at the abandoned, almost like destroyed Weyland base camp, and they start making their way towards the camp. She tells Deck you got to get out of here. They're going to show up and they're going to kill you. You can't be here. Deck feels betrayed. He gets angry, like, whatever, I don't need you. If you're going to, snake me and betray me like this, then I'll find the Kalisk with you or without you. Screw you and screw Weyland, whatever. So he walks out of the little building, or it's more like I don't know, describe it. It's like this little like pod thing where the building where she's repairing herself with her legs. He walks out of there, and then here comes the Kalisk, right? Oh no, here's the big creature that he wants to slay. This is the big like plot of the movie, right? So he can slay the Kalisk to bring it back home as a trophy to prove himself to his clan. So he goes on to fight. There's a big epic explosion where it's very, honestly, this part of the film was a bit schlocky where he like looks away and there's a big explosion in the background. It's supposed to be all epic and stuff. It was cool, but it felt a little bit overdone is what I'd say. So yeah, he fights with the Kalisk and is about to defeat the Kalisk until... Oh, actually, wait. So he's about to defeat the Kalisk, and then the Kalisk like face goes right up to his face, and you could see that there's kind of a resemblance to the Bud creature. It's like, what's going on with this? I thought at first, like, oh my god, is this Bud? Did Bud like suddenly grow up and become this giant creature, or what happened? That's what I thought at first, but it's later revealed to be actually. It became pretty obvious at this point that actually this Kalisk creature is actually Bud's mother, right? So they're the same species. Bud and the Kalisk are both the Kalisk species, and Bud was just a baby Kalisk, basically, right? So yes, then it is revealed that Tessa, is kind of like the leader of the expedition for the Weyland-Yutani Corporation on this planet, right? So it's revealed that, Thea's sister Tessa is like the main antagonist because she's the leader of the evil Weyland Corporation, right? So the Weyland Corporation shows up, Tessa shows up, and they, freeze the Kalisk, and they freeze Deck before they could kill each other, and they're both basically taken by the corporation. Deck wakes up in it's like a moving ship vehicle sort of thing. He wakes up and he's basically subdued on a table, and they're like the Weyland-Yutani synthetics are basically analyzing him and saying, oh, we could do research on him and stuff like this. And then we see that what's her name again? Tia is basically, she's also sitting there, and right, so they captured Tia as well. Tia, and then Tess walks into the room, and then Tia and Tess have basically a conversation that, we were programmed, like, basically she presses Tia about, like, why do you seem emotionally attached to this Yautja or predator? You could call it a Yautja or predator. Why are you, attached to this Yautja? She says, they programmed us with emotions to better analyze the life forms and creatures on this planet, right? So that's the big reveal, is that, these synthetics, because that's not a theme of any other synthetic in the Alien, right? Synthetics are mostly in the Alien franchise. In fact, this is the first Predator film where there's a synthetic. I don't even believe there wasn't even a synthetic in those two god-awful, where it was like a direct crossover with xenomorphs and predators, the two god-awful Alien versus Predator films. So that's what I like. That's what they did good about this film, is seeing Weyland-Yutani synthetics and predators in the same movie working together. That's really cool. I really like that. So basically, this is the first thing where, these synthetics actually do have a little bit of emotions to help them better analyze the life forms on this planet. Right, so Tia, with her emotions, feels bad about basically betraying Deck and helps him escape. Right, Tess walks out of the room after confronting her sister about her emotions. She walks out. She then helps Deck escape from captivity, and he escapes out the back door of the moving vehicle. He jumps out, and then Tia remains to be captured by the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. Deck, he then reunites with Bud, right? So he finds Bud, and then it's revealed that Kalisk is Bud's mother. They go and find Tia's legs to try and save her. So basically, Tia's legs can still work remotely without being attached to the upper torso of Tia. So it's this really weird visual where the legs are just walking with no torso or body. The rest of the body isn't attached. It's just like the legs walking. It's a pretty weird. There is like humorous aspects to this film, particularly with Bud. Bud is like almost like a comic relief cutesy thing, which I don't like. Again, I don't think there should be comedy in either a Predator or Alien movie. Predator and Alien are supposed to be like brutal, vicious, gross, violent, very serious films, in my opinion. That's what they excel at. That's where they're the best. I don't like this almost Disney-ification, Marvel slop humor. Like it just doesn't work. It feels out of place. But yeah, it was a little funny scene where the legs are walking. So the legs walk back to wherever Tia is being held captive at the Weyland-Yutani Corporation base. The legs basically the legs do this whole fight scene with the other synthetics, the synthetic guards of the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, and then manages to reattach themselves to Tia. So Tia finally becomes her full body, and then it cuts to Deck, who's also at the base, because now they saved Ella Fanning's character Tia. Now they need to save the Calisk, right? Because it's Bud's mother, so they got to save the Calisk. Because it's still being held captive by the Weyland Corporation. So Deck basically. There's this scene that happens where it's very reminiscent of the original 1987 Predator, where he uses all like the bugs and creatures and plants of the planet to basically gear himself, because he's had all his Predator technology and weapons taken from him when he got kidnapped. So he basically uses the plant life and the dangerous creatures. He has like a little worm snake thing. It's like a snake thing that he uses, almost like the iconic laser shoulder weapon that the Predators use, right? That shoots big lasers out, right? That locks on with the red lasers and then shoots a big projectile. It basically has like this little snake thing that can almost do the same thing. It shoots out these projectiles, so he's able to basically this whole big epic scene where he like sits and he's able to use like the exploding bugs to blow up and kill all the Weyland synthetic guards. So now it's just Tessa, right? Now the only Weyland Corporation synthetic left is Tessa, who's the leader, right? So Tessa comes out with a big like mecha suit, which is very reminiscent of Aliens, right? Which is obviously the second best alien film in my opinion, Aliens, right? When here, let me search it up. When Ripley uses this, right, it's the iconic "get away from her, you bitch," or "get away from her, bitch" scene, right? That's what they say, right? I can't believe that's like the most iconic line in the Aliens movie. "Get away from her, you bitch." That's what she says, right? Because they also reference that line in Romulus. Yeah, "get away from her, you bitch." I was right. See, I am an Alien fan. I knew it. Okay. Let me pull up my notes here again. So yeah, Tessa gets in the giant mecha, which is very reminiscent of the mecha from Aliens that Ripley uses. She then fights Deck, right? And then, oh man, Thea and what's his name? The freaking Bud. Tia and Bud basically they free the Callus from captivity, and then the Callus comes charging in and basically goes and rips Tessa from the big mech suit, swallows her alive, and it seems like, oh, the fight is over, right? But then, oh no, suddenly the Callus explodes, and then Tessa basically exploded the Callus from within the Callus because she was swallowed alive, and then she's still alive, and she's like, oh, sis, she looks to Tia and says, sister, you betrayed us. We were supposed to, be loyal to the corporation. You betrayed us. And then, oh, suddenly Deck walks behind her, stabs her through the chest, and then now it's finally over. Now the main protagonist, Tessa, is defeated. All the Weyland-Yutani synthetics, besides obviously Thea, are destroyed. So they won the battle, but oh no, Bud is sad because his mother was killed. So then Deck, Thea, and Bud go back to Deck's home planet to confront his father. He shows his father, that, he took out the Weyland Corporation and he took out the Callus. So, I've redeemed myself to my tribe. I am a strong fighter. I'm not weak like you said. And then he goes and fights his father. It's a really cool, predator on predator action. They fight, do the cool dude jumping up and down with the swords and stuff. He's able to defeat his father. His father says, his father asks for mercy and says, oh, you defeated me. You've been redeemed. You're not weak like I said. You're strong. And he says, whatever. And then he kills him anyway. Right, so he kills his father despite his father begging for mercy, which is, I guess, appropriate because he asked for mercy for his brother, but he killed his brother anyway, right? So he killed his brother, defeats defeats his father, and in the last line of the film, we see a big predator ship coming in from the distance, and then Thea asks, oh, who's that? Who's coming here? Who's in that ship? And then Deck says, that's my mother. Oh, that's a pretty epic line. So, right, he just defeated his father, who was the patriarch, the leader of the clan of Yachas or predators of their particular clan. Again, because there's multiple Yacha clans on the home planet of the Yacha. Right, so this is the matriarch of the right. His father, Enjor, was the leader and patriarch of the clan. This mother presumably is going to be the matriarch, who will then be the next antagonist in charge of the clan. So it leaves on a big cliffhanger. Oh no, is he going to have to fight his mother as well? So that's the big cliffhanger there at the end. There's no post-credit scene, so once the credits roll, you can feel free to leave the theater. Again, I don't know how long this movie is going to be in theaters for, but yeah. So that was the whole plot summary. That was my general thoughts of the film. Again, here's going to be some highlights and extra thoughts, extra comments in regards to the film that I observed. Visually, again, the cinematography, the CGI, the sci-fi, lasers, crazy cool stuff. Love it. I'm a sucker for it. All the Alien films do it well. All the Predator films do it well. Visually, all the creatures on the planet and the planet itself and all the Weyland-Yutani tech, it just looks cool. Looks really good. So yeah. I didn't like that they rated this movie PG-13. I think that Predator films should be rated R. Again, we didn't get to see any of the strung up bodies. That's, again, the iconic, gross, crazy stuff from the other Predator films is when you see the bodies skinned alive and strung up upside down. That's the crazy, gross, violent stuff that belongs in a Predator film. That's what makes the Predator scary. So they should not have rated it PG-13. It should have been rated R like all the previous Predator movies in the franchise. Now, where does Badlands rank in regards to the rest of the Predator movies or franchise? My hot take is I think this is actually better than Prey. I think it's the second best Predator film. Obviously, nothing beats the original 1987 Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. But I think this is the second best one. I like this more than Predator Badlands. And again, I just watched Predator Badlands the other day in preparation for this. I watched all 8 Predator films in a row in preparation for this new 9th one, Badlands. I did like Killer of Killers. I like the animation style. But I honestly, I think that Badlands is better than that. I think it's better than Prey. I think it's better than the 2018 Predator. I think there's Predator, Predators, The Predator. There's all these different movies, right? I think this is better than all of those. The Wayland Utoni AI Mother makes an appearance, which I love. The Mother, I guess it's technically a character in the Alien franchise, right? I love the Mother AI. Phenomenal. One of the most chilling and horrifying aspects of the Alien films is the Mother AI, the very cool, cold, like delivery of the text. It's just phenomenal how it basically speaks in the scary robot feminine voice. It's amazing. I love it. And sometimes it's not even a voice, it's just text on the screen. In fact, that's what it was like in this movie. It's just text on the screen, and it's just like, I don't know, it's an AI like chatbot basically, but it has so much aura, and it's so frightening. It's really good. Mother is a great thing in the Alien and Predator universe. So I like that made a small cameo in the film. Again, just the Wayland Utoni Corporation stuff in general. I love the Wayland Utoni Corp. I want a movie exploring the lore more. I think that's what the Alien Earth franchise is on Hulu. I'm going to go ahead and start watching the first episode today if I have time. That's the last piece of media that I haven't seen in regards to the Alien and Predator franchise as a whole. I've watched all the movies, right? So I'm going to go ahead and watch season 1, which is the only season out. I think there's going to be a season 2 next year, or no, it's going to go into production next year, so God knows when that will release, probably in late 2026 or maybe early 2007, but I'm going to 2027 I mean, but I will watch I think there's 8 episodes on Hulu of season 1. I will go ahead and check that out, because again, I love the Wayland Utoni Corporation. It's just great, the synthetics and stuff. I think I already previously mentioned this, but there's no reference or cameos or Easter eggs in regards towards the xenomorphs from Alien, or really anything in the Alien movies other than obviously the Wayland Utoni Corporation and Mother. There was no tie-in to Prey, the 2022 Prey, where it's like the Native Americans versus the Predators, or the recent movie that came out this year, Killer of Killers, the animated film on Hulu. There's no tie-in to that. I didn't really see any direct references towards the 1987 film or the Predators 2 or any of the other Predator movies. So Ella Fanning as Thea and Tess, I think, was the standout performance, standout role. Both those characters were, particularly Thea was really great. She was like the heart and soul of the movie. She had comedic moments that actually kind of landed. Again, I don't like comedy in my Predator movies. I don't think comedy belongs in Predator movies, but she did good. I think she did good. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I love synthetics. Synthetics are great. Remember the Andy, the synthetic in the most recent Alien film, Romulus? Again, he was also like a standout role in that film, right? Everyone said that, he was like the coolest character. He was like the best character. It's true, because the synthetics, the Wayland Utoni synthetics are freaking badass. They're fucking awesome. I love the Wayland Utoni synthetics. So that was really good. So the Yacha home planet was awesome. It was like this desert crazy style. It almost felt like Dune with like the it felt like the Sardaukar sort of aesthetics. I wish we could have gotten more. It was only at the very beginning and very end of the film that took place on the home planet of the Predators. So I wish we could have gotten more about the home planet of the Yacha. I love that it explored the culture and dynamics of the Yacha / Predator culture, right? That was really cool to see. Is there anything else? So that was basically it for my notes. I did like this film. I gave it about a 4. I give it a 4. So the original 1987 Predator, I gave a 4.5 stars on Letterboxd. This one I give a 4 out of 5 stars. This was good. I enjoyed this. I highly recommend you see this film. I had a good time watching this. I had a big smile on my face. I just love the violence and the craziness. So thank you so much. That's all I have to say. I don't know how long this review is going to be. But I had a lot to say. I had a lot of thoughts, again, because I'm very invested in the Alien and Predator franchise as a whole. So again, thank you for watching. I'll have a review of that Nuremberg movie. I'm going to try and see that today after my job interview. So thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and subscribe. I'll have more videos coming soon. Thank you. Peace.